Clarifications as it relates to the Supreme Court accession against the President of the Association of Judicial Reporters and also the institution as a whole. With much ado, ladies and gentlemen of the press, we now call on the SG, the Secretary General of AJO, to read the press statement. Thank you.
And I say thank you very much to my distinguished colleagues of the media, most especially those who are covering the third branch of government, the judicial branch of government. My name is P. Nas Moba. I'm the Secretary General for the Judicial Reporter Association. And I will be the only person to read the statement in reaction to a recent press release from the Office of the Director of Communication at the level of the judicial branch of government on or against our institution in general, and in particular the president of the institution in person of Abednego Davis of the Daily Observer newspaper. And it reads thus: Association of Judicial Reporters of Liberia, Temple of Justice, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today is October 27, 2020. We, on behalf of the Association of Judicial Reporters of Liberia, AJO, stationed on the grounds of the Temple of Justice, and from different and distinct media houses, are pleased to categorically respond in an earnest term to a barrage of unfounded and calculated innuendos, accusations leveled against us and our noble institution, in particular our President, Mr. Abednego Davis, in an October 26, 2020 edition of the In-Profile Daily and other news outlets. In several local dailies published on this date and time, including the In-Profile, the Director of Judicial Public Information at the Temple of Justice, Darius Ambruman, who is also the President of the Judicial Staff Association at the Temple of Justice, honored the guiles and manipulation of the workers of the institution, has continued to embarrass the Chief Justice, Francis S. Copper, and other associate justices with protests over pay cut in a rather vindictive and unprofessional press release, lamented that the reporters covering the judiciary and publisher of the Daily Observer newspaper, who continue to publish stories about the workings of the Supreme Court of Liberia without exercising the professional standards of accuracy, balance, and credibility. Director Mann further stressed that the reporter of these stories, Mr. Abednego Davis, who is the president of AJO, has never been physically present during any of these cases and is hardly seen around the premises of the Temple of Justice. The GSA President Mann also continued that the unprofessional conduct of reporter Davis has been brought to the attention of the leadership and his colleagues of AJO, and even to the attention of his boss, Mr. Best, after a series of publication, false publications. We say this is untruth, this has no iota of truth, and this is far from the reality. Distinguished colleagues of the media, ladies and gentlemen, we, the leadership and members of AJO, in the most congregate term, reject the accusation coming from Director Mann against our president, our individual professional characters and noble institution that we represent here at the Temple of Justice. At no time did the Public Information Bureau of the Temple of Justice, Director Mann, complain of any of its members, howbeit or esteemed President, Mr. Abednego Davis, of unprofessional conduct in their reportage from the Temple of Justice. AJO reiterates that the malicious and vindictive press release from Anthony Mann's office against our institution and president is intended to distract public attention from the real issues unfolding at the level of the Temple of Justice, including but not limited to the months of long protests by judicial workers who are agitating for 12 months salaries areas, and as well as a pointing fingers at the Chief Justice and other justices for what the employees claim as corruption on the part of officials of the High Court. Director Mann's inability to properly manage or negotiate an amicable solution to the workers' plight, which he has up his credibility. Regrettably, let the public know that as Director of Public Information at the Temple of Justice, Ambrose has failed to regularly provide briefing or updates about happenings at the various courts in the country to the press, least to mention the Liberian people. AJO therefore distanced itself from Anthony Mann's pure gossip in his press release, and at no time did we discuss our president or other members' reportage. What is worth noting is that the constant intimidation we receive from the Chief Justice, his Public Information Bureau, whenever the hard news from the court is published. We want the public to know that Mann's press release is continuation of such threats and intimidations coming out of the judiciary against AJO and the Liberian journalists as a whole. Let us say again that due to Mann's anger against AJO members for their professional reportage, one of its members, Front Page Africa judicial reporter in person of Augustine 12, was assaulted, and assaulted on the grounds of the Temple of Justice by the indicted Senate Secretary Nangolo Sengwe for photographing him after trial, and Mann is yet to make an official statement since the matter was reported to him 2 weeks ago in a formal communication. Ambrose lacks the professional standard as explained in his verbal against us, our noble institution and president. He claimed to accuse the Daily Observer as an institution, but again went below the belt to mention the reporter name in his calculated and misguided press release. We henceforth call on the director and his ill-fated press release to engage our leadership with mutual respect in the exercise of his duty as well as our duty to our country as journalists. Again, fellow colleagues, we promise that no matter the number of threats and intimidation or misguided press release from the judiciary through its spokesperson or anybody will not deter our resolve in providing credible, balanced, and accurate report emanating from the court. Thank you very much.
We will take all this time to entertain questions.